Geldings are the ones to watch.
Being a gelding doesn't guarantee a win, Mr. Nicholson.
They're stronger, statistically.
And fillies generally develop faster than colts, statistically.
Well, it also depends on the terrain. I read somewhere that horses that run over dirt are more muscular than turf horses.
Regardless, it's unusual for a race mare to mix it with the boys.
Makes you wonder how a mare won the Melbourne Cup in '56 then.
Hazel, you don't have a hope of getting your funding application through.
May the best horse win. Mahoney 1, Nicholson 0.
Do you think Nicholson will ever give you any peace?
Not in my lifetime.
The race has started, everyone.
Into the turn into the straight for the Cup. Trillios was in front and going great gun. Shows the way around the corner from Travel Boy further out. Then Saracron. They're followed by Telegold, Grand Gary, Valerius, Doctor, and then Royal Jasper and McDougall finishing well. Trillios and Travel Boy come away soon after. And at the furlong pole, it's Trillios and Travel Boy fighting over in a soul stirring struggle. Here comes McDougall. Telegold and Whitehall. McDougall into the urging of Trent is going for the wire as straight as a gun barrel. And McDougall wins the Cup from Telegold.
You've never won anything before.
Oh, Milana came last. What does that say about my betting skills?
I'm buying the drinks tonight. Hazel, I can't believe you did it to someone else.
What are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. You had a responsibility as her mentor. Instead of supporting her, you let her down.
How dare you? How do you know? Have you been going through my things?
I had to know, and I was right. You did to her what you did to me.
I have got enough responsibilities without having to deal with
You know what? You are going to pay for what you've done.
Hey, do you want to come for a drink at the Royal Arms?
Oh, you can't. Some of us are rostered first thing tomorrow.
Suit yourself.
Hey, thanks for walking us.
I promised I would.
Do you need me to walk you home?
No.
Good. Because while they were setting up, I snuck a bottle of champagne from the cup party. It's in my room. Just let me go to the bathroom.
Okay.
I'll be back. Okay.
Anyway. Hey, what is it? What's happening? Hey, come on, up you get. That's it.
Here you go, Hazel. Grab the rope. Come on. Quick, loosen it. Further.
It's Mahoney! It's Mahoney!
Come on. Maddie went too late.
Hazel,
Please, she's gone.
Who found her?
Linda Butler and Maddie O'Brien.
Thank you all for your assistance. If you'd like to make your way back to your dorm rooms.
Superintendent Lawson, Jeffrey Nicholson, I'm the chief surgeon of this hospital. I'd like to say, if I may, this is my hospital.
It may be your hospital, but I'm the police surgeon and I'm asking you to leave.
The deceased is Hazel Mahoney, you know?
Yes, we served on the hospital board together. Suicide.
Blake, I'd like a word later.
Of course. My surgery hours are 9 to 5, 7 days a week. Feel free to make an appointment with my receptionist.
I need to know numbers for the monthly board meeting. Will you be attending?
Interesting, isn't it? The colleague's body lies a few feet away and all you can think about's a board meeting. Maybe you need to learn a thing or two about post-mortem etiquette. Excuse me, Jeffrey. The little step stool in the laundry.
I moved it out of the way so I could get to her.
Right. Do you remember which way the steps were facing?
They were facing the door.
The door. That's interesting.
Maddie, how about you let me walk you home?
Is there anything else I can help you with?
No. You let Danny take you home. Try and get a good night's sleep, eh? Well, given the circumstances, I could accompany the body to the morgue and perform the autopsy now.
No. Hazel was a close colleague of yours. We need someone impartial for the job. Think of it as post-mortem etiquette.
Only one of you need to do the autopsy. I'm sure Gus can handle it. Just make sure you keep Mr. Nicholson happy, all right?
Why is that?
Just trying to reduce the amount of times that you piss people off.
It arrived for you today.
Thank you.
Everything all right?
There's been a death at the hospital. Hazel Mahoney.
No.
Yes, one of the good ones.
What happened?
Suicide.
No, she doesn't seem the type.
My thoughts exactly. And it's put me in the firing line of bloody Jeffrey Nicholson.
Oh, on top of everything else. I'm terribly sorry to hear about Hazel.
Me too. Me too. Well, good night, Jen.
Good night. Morning, Matty.
Morning.
Thought you might be taking the day off.
I wanted to see if there was anything I could do to help. Hazel's family will be arriving today to make funeral arrangements.
Yes. I expect it to be quite a sizable turnout.
Oh, first female surgeon at Ballarat Hospital. Quite an achievement in itself.
Yes, she made such a difference.
Indeed. And she would have made even more of a difference. That damn Jeffrey Nicholson hadn't gotten in the way.
Oh, not the easiest man to work with, I don't imagine.
Do you think Jeffrey Nicholson is the reason why Hazel did what she did?
I think that man could drive anyone to the brink. I'll see you later.
Clearly ignoring orders again.
Hazel Mahoney was a colleague of yours too, Gus. Perhaps she shouldn't be here either.
Yes, maybe she could do her own autopsy.
What do we know?
She dropped from about 3 feet. Corresponding ligature furrow around the neck.
No hangman's fracture?
It was only a 3-foot drop.
We need to take body weight into account. Look here, Gus. Abrasion to the neck matches the rope. Fresh puncture marks, the upper leg region. We'll need a toxicology report.
Good suggestion. Resuscitation marks on her chest, not sure why.
Now, that'd be Matty O'Brien.
The other nurses said there were early signs of rigor mortis. Nurse O'Brien would have known it was too late.
They were friends, Gus. Anything else?
Yes. I'm moving to Melbourne.
Why? Because I asked you for a toxicology report?
I've been offered a job at Royal Melbourne Hospital.
Congratulations. What do you make of all this?
She was highly ambitious. It's no secret Jeffrey Nicholson stood in her way. She couldn't handle it.
Yes, I agree. At least I would, if it was in fact suicide. Remnants of a saliva trail here.
That's fairly standard.
Not when it runs out of the mouth and around the back of the head. This suggests she died horizontally. Hazel died before she was hanged. You might still have a few things to learn, Gus, before you head off to impress Melbourne. Fancy a trip to the police station?
Why?
We need to report all of this to Lawson. I'm not meant to be here, remember?
The decedent female, Caucasian, 40 years old, weighed 140 pounds. Various injuries are consistent with the crime, such as bruising of the strap muscle, fracture of the superior horns of the thyroid cartilage.
Gus, I tell you what. How about you just skip to the part he's interested in?
A ligature mark about the front of the neck. Liver mortis blanched to light pressure and was consistent with the position found.
In English, it's irrelevant. Someone strung her up. Hazel's death was made to look like suicide.
Any more good news I could tell the family?
There were puncture marks on her legs, evidence of recent injections.
I'll go back and do that toxicology report.
You need to sign the autopsy report. Imagine working with that every day.
This is fairly laid back. Almost as laid back as his patients.
How do you manage it?
Well, the fact that he's about to start an impressive new job in Melbourne helps no end. Listen, I really want to find out who did this.
Just as long as you leave your personal feelings for Jeffrey Nicholson out of it.
Jeffrey is very much in this.
You got any proof?
I'll find it.
Maddie O'Brien. Just a couple of routine questions, Maddie. Just coming through here.
Hazel was at the Melbourne Cup party, and yes, she had been drinking. And then I saw her leave.
What time was that?
I couldn't say really.
When was the last time you saw her?
In the corridor?
Was she with anyone?
Take your time, Maddie.
Parks.
Carol Stunning. She's a nurse in the hospital.
Was there anything unusual about their exchange?
They were having a disagreement.
What about?
I don't know.
They usually disagree?
I don't really know.
Can you remember anything about the conversation?
Well, Carol said, I think you're going to pay for this.
What was the last interaction you had with the deceased?
I asked her if she thought Mr. Nicholson would ever give her any peace.
What was her response?
She said, not in her lifetime.
Thanks for your help.
Yeah.
The knot in the noose. It wasn't tied properly. If you're a doctor, you would tie it in such a way that you would sever the spinal cord so you die instantly. Surgeons know all about knots. They use them in their work all the time for sutures and things. It's like the rope was just there for show.
Parks, see what you can find out about Carol Stanning.
I found Hazel's record book. It was hidden in Carol Stanning's room.
Get it down here.
Well, she's on duty, sir.
I don't care.
Wait.
Matty?
They sent me home.
Well, perhaps not a bad idea, eh?
I didn't realize how many of my photos had Hazel in them.
Yes. Oh. You know, she was on the verge of implementing a new surgical checklist procedure. Would have reduced the number of avoidable deaths.
Let me guess. Most of the surgeons found it insulting? Plus, not to mention the amount of paperwork that would have been involved.
Well, some surgeons didn't like a woman telling them how to improve.
Yeah, well, that's silly, because something like that could have saved people's lives.
That's right. Very good surgeons often see themselves as gods.
Jeffrey Nicholson?
Yes. Nicholson's a perfect case in point. That's a great shot.
He was taken at our Christmas party only last year. She looked so happy.
You know, Maddie, I think someone else was involved in Hazel's death. I simply can't believe it was suicide.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And I'm going to head to the hospital and find out all I can.
Found this in your dorm room. It's Hazel Mahoney's record book.
I don't know how it got there.
It's a pretty valuable piece of stationery. It has a list of everyone's marks, some of whom failed.
What's your point?
Well, I'm assuming that you passed first time round.
I failed, actually. Miss Mahoney graded me when I did my internship. Had to repeat a year thanks to her.
Still holding that grudge?
No.
So, why the argument with Hazel on Tuesday night?
Look, we care about our patients and we discuss the best way to treat them. Arguing can be part of that process.
Parks?
You'll pay for what you've done.
Do you often find yourself in the middle of a fight?
Have to be strong. It's a man's world out there, and apparently in here as well. I stand up for myself, and I'll stand up for anyone else who needs me to.
Right. So that's why you stole the book?
I didn't take it, and I don't know how it got there.
Right, here we go. You think they'll miss mashed potato on the cafeteria menu?
Hospital food is rarely missed.
Too true. Maddie, you think you could lift that on your own? No. No, I didn't think so. That certainly rules out some of our more slightly built nurses on the ward. Unless, of course, they had some help. Ah, Danny, how did you go?
What's with the bag of veggies?
It's an experiment to see how she was strung up.
Right. Yeah, well, let me give you a hand.
No. I want to see if it could be done on his or her own. Now, watch yourself, Maddie. So someone with a bit more strength than you, and perhaps as much as me. If Hazel was standing on the step stools with the intention of jumping, I wonder which way she'd face.
What? Towards the door?
Yes. I think someone wanting to suicide would face the door in preparation in case someone was to walk in. And if I jumped from this height, I think there's every possibility my neck would break. What are they, Danny?
Well, you know that they're staff files. So come on, ask me.
All right. Would you mind opening Jeffrey Nicholson's file for me?
You know, I can't do that.
Well, could you do it for Hazel?
I got one more room to check, so I'll come back and get the file in a few minutes.
Good man. Thank you, Danny.
Blake. Jeffrey, I know you only want to talk about the suicide, but I need to firm up numbers for the meeting.
Yes, I'll be there.
Good. I was concerned we might not get a quorum. To be honest, if you could run this place without having to answer to a group of board members, everyone would be better off.
Like a dictatorship. Bravo. No wonder Hazel and you didn't see eye to eye.
My working relationship with Miss Mahoney was cordial and professional. I find that remark offensive, given the circumstances.
Yeah, the circumstances being that she was murdered.
Someone's gone to a great deal of trouble if that's the case.
Where were you after the party?
I'll give my interview to the police in due course.
Good. In the meantime, I'll let them know that you're evasive when asked the question. I'll also tell them that a patient died on your watch 2 years ago, a Mrs. Ferguson, who left you her estate.
Think there'll ever be a day when you and I can converse politely? Jeffrey, any chance you could get Blake off my back?
Consider it done.
Yes, Dr. Lucien Blake. Joy MacDonald, how are you? Are you in town? Yes, of course. I don't have any more patients this afternoon.
Hazel Mahoney?
Jean, you're here. Perfect. Yes. Yes, Hazel weighed around 140 pounds. I'm trying to work out how much she weighed during her fall.
Why?
Well, it might tell me whether her neck should have been broken or not.
Was her neck broken?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm not quite following.
Well, if I can prove that her neck should have been broken due to her weight and the height of the stool, it might be proof enough for Lawson to convince him that she was in fact murdered. Would you mind just stepping on the scales?
So, I'm Hazel Mahoney.
Yes, you are. I'll have to add a few more pounds to the calculation here. And, yes, would you mind popping up the stool there for me? I won't let you fall.
Oh.
There we are. Wonderful. Now, when you jump onto the scale...
Jump onto the scales?
Yes. It'll tell me what your dead weight might be.
Right.
Yeah. You ready?
Oh! I'll get that. He's in the surgery.
Do you do your best thinking from up there?
Joy.
Carol stole it because of me.
Can you tell us why, Nancy?
Miss Mahoney warned me that my grades might not be enough to pass the year. I told Carol at the party, so she stole the doctor's record book for me.
So you and Carol, you stick together?
She looks out for me.
So if she told you to jump off a bridge?
We didn't hurt Hazel. I thought the grades I got were unfair, so I told Carol.
You don't trust the marks Hazel gave you?
A lot of the time we're marked based on how confident we are with our patients.
Which you're not?
Do you know how hard it is to be strong in a world for someone like me? The world is set up for people like you. And you.
Were you instrumental in the death of Hazel Mahoney?
No.
Where'd the burns come from? Where'd the burns come from? They wrote burns?
What brings you back to town?
I'm doing a piece on a local surgeon.
Well, Jeffrey Nicholson, I hope.
No. Patrick Tyneman has asked that I write a profile piece.
On?
You.
Bloody hell.
Lucien, what did you honestly think would happen when you introduced the two of us? It's hard to deny you are a great story. Besides, Patrick Tyneman has contacts beyond Ballarat, and my editor is one of them.
It'd be slanderous.
Not if it's the truth.
And how much truth do you have on me?
You mean apart from you shutting down a factory full of migrant workers? And, according to Tyneman, attacking a visiting British consul?
Yes, that was a good one.
And now going after a prominent local surgeon?
Yes. It's quite an impressive list, isn't it?
Told you.
I still think the Nicholson story is better, and I'll tell you why. I did some digging, and I found out a patient died on his watch a couple of years ago, and assigned property to him in a will. Not that he needs any more property, but anyway, it'd make a terrific story.
Like every other time you've suggested a story.
No. This story will be terrific for you and your editor. Look. Hazel Mahoney was murdered. Jeffrey and Hazel were enemies.
It's a long bow to draw.
Yeah.
So, why don't the police deal with Nicholson?
Oh, he hasn't been questioned yet, due to his overwhelming surgical roster.
Surgeons certainly do live by their own rules.
I may have to bring him to trial myself. In a room full of hospital board members.
Might give me substance for my next article.
Yes.
Don't you open your mail these days? Singapore. Your wife and child were last seen there, weren't they?
Yes. And the search continues.
Any word?
I'm afraid there may be a few words in that letter.
Inspector Lawson called. He asked if he'd go to the hospital and have a look at Nancy Carmody's burn marks.
Excuse me, sister. Well, it certainly must have hurt.
Yes.
Superintendent Lawson wanted me to ask you about those burn marks.
Told him that they were not rope burns. I didn't have anything to do with Hazel's... Miss Mahoney.
Clearly they're not friction burns. How did you get those marks?
From the radiator in my dorm room. I'm naturally clumsy.
Naturally clumsy. Can't be a good thing in your profession. Nancy, how long have you been doing this to yourself?
Please don't say anything. I was just so anxious for my exams.
You know, Hazel was very, very pleased with your work. Superintendent Lawson tells me her report book was full of praise for you. I'm going to arrange for you to see someone who can help you. All right?
Thank you.
There you are. Well, it certainly wasn't Nancy Carmody. I mean, she's frightened of her own shadow. Those marks on her hands, they weren't rope burns.
Carol Stanning's all bravado.
But no alibi.
We've interviewed everyone at the party or who was rostered on.
Jeffrey Nicholson?
We're still working on that.
Oh, come on, tell me you're joking. I mean, surely he can find time between rounds of golf.
Apparently the one surgeon down at the hospital has been unable to get away.
Right. And Tyneman vouched for him.
He'll be brought in when we can get hold of him.
Well, can I at least check his surgical roster?
He wasn't rostered on, we've checked.
No. Well, the evidence is mounting, isn't it?
I don't need to remind you it's innocent until proven guilty, not the other way around.
What about the needle marks? I mean, someone could have injected her.
Gus, what have you got?
Toxicology report from Miss Mahoney. Miss Mahoney had morphine in her system.
Bet you weren't expecting that.
Morphine. A controlled substance. Therefore kept under lock and key. The only people with access are senior medical staff. Like I said, the evidence is mounting.
Leave it to us, Blake.
I'll get that.
Blake's residence? Oh, Mrs. MacDonald. No, I'm afraid he isn't. He's at his hospital board meeting. About 20 minutes ago? But you can leave a message.
Yes, just here. Thank you. Lucian! Lucian!
Patrick.
Lucian!
In summary, an application was presented by Dr. Hazel Mahoney. Subsequently, that application was rejected because it failed to receive sufficient votes. I'd now like to hand over to Mr. Nicholson to discuss further presentations.
Gentlemen, my request is that the board support a research project into new trends in surgical procedures at the Johns Hopkins University in America.
And my request is that we take on Hazel Mahoney's recent proposal posthumously.
We won't be doing that, Blake.
Why not?
Because it's already been rejected. Our current priority is to make Ballarat Hospital worthy of international recognition.
Well, the procedures Hazel wanted to implement could do just that.
Gentlemen, my funding proposal sits in front of you. I hope that it's considered with the utmost importance.
And I hope you all consider that Jeffrey Nicholson stands to make a huge financial gain from Hazel's death. And that's motive.
Sit down, Blake.
This is outrageous behaviour.
Well, there's plenty more. The very fact that we don't exactly know how Hazel was killed might suggest that she was in fact killed by someone in possession of considerable medical knowledge and who had access to controlled substances.
Gentlemen, I won't be staying for any more speeches.
Blake, you cannot talk to this man like that.
2 years ago, Jeffrey Nicholson had a patient who died quite unexpectedly. There was an open finding into the death. No cause was found, just like with Hazel. And he made a significant financial gain out of that death as well. 2 weeks before she died, the patient, Mary Ferguson, altered her will. Fancy that. Leaving all of her substantial estate to Jeffrey Nicholson.
That patient of mine who died is no secret. What is a secret is that I was abandoned as a child, spent most of my childhood in an orphanage, but I worked hard and got a scholarship which allowed me to become a surgeon.
Jeffrey.
That patient was my birth mother. And yes, she left me everything, which was not much.
Thank you for your explanation, Jeffrey. However, it was completely unnecessary.
It still doesn't explain where you were when Hazel was killed.
I was called into surgery.
But you weren't rostered on, Jeffrey.
Because I was covering for another surgeon. You can check the patient's records.
You're a loose cannon, Blake. Get out of here before you do any more damage.
Gentlemen, you have my resignation. Effective immediately.
That saves me the trouble of firing you.
Why didn't you tell me about your alibi, Jeffrey?
Jeffrey's silver spoon wasn't so silver.
You knew.
I did some digging like you asked. I tried to catch you before the meeting. Did you?
Make a complete fool of myself, yes, I did.
I'm sorry.
Well, at least you'll have plenty of material for your article. I have to go.
Lucian.
Look, make sure you write that article, Joy. At least you'll keep your job.
Lucian. I don't want to interfere, but I have a colleague based in Kuantan following the Malay emergency. He posted a story on wartime missing persons last year. He might be able to help locate your wife and child.
Thank you.
I'll see what I can do.
Miss Stenning, what can we do for you?
Is Inspector Lawson here?
He's with someone. Can I help you?
I wanted to make a statement.
Okay.
A couple of the girls and I had been drinking that night. I was showing them the new X-ray machine. I accidentally scratched one of the glass plates with one of my rings.
Sounds like an expensive accident.
Thought if I kept quiet, I could buy some time, work out a way of perhaps replacing it.
And admitting to it is better than being a suspect in a murder. It still doesn't explain how Hazel's record book was found in your room. Well, maybe we should match your fingerprints.
Look, I took it. I wanted to know that Nancy was telling the truth about her marks before I confronted Hazel. There was no chance to get it back after she was found.
Where is he? Lawson? Lawson! Get out of my way. Out of my way.
Patrick, what seems to be the problem?
Your bloody mate, Lucian bloody Blake. He's gone too far this time.
What's he done now?
I want him sacked.
Well, hang on a minute.
You sack him, or I'll go over your head.
I thought you might need some tea. Lucy?
I made a fool of myself, Jean. I humiliated Jeffrey Nicholson in front of the entire hospital board. I treated the man like he was a bloody criminal. I resigned from the board before they had the chance to formally remove me. I thought I should let you know before you heard it from someone else.
So, you're the police surgeon and you've resigned from the hospital board in disgrace.
I thought that would be the proper thing to do.
That's not the point. Piece by piece, you've unravelled everything your father has built here. Don't you understand? Your patients need you. We need you. And you don't need the likes of Jeffrey Nicholson to make your life difficult because you do that perfectly well by yourself. And one day people might just stop forgiving you. And then what?
Jean, are you all right? Evening.
Evening, Matthew. Whiskey's a good idea. He does all the damage when he's sober anyway.
saw Jean outside. She can't stand the sight of you either.
To what do I owe this visit, business or pleasure?
Pleasure. I'm here to fire you at the behest of Patrick Tyneman.
Wonderful. Ah, bloody hell, Lawson. It's been wonderful working with you.
Now all I have to do is place an advertisement for a police surgeon.
Well, I hate to say it, but Gus would be the obvious choice.
If he didn't already have a brand new job in the big city and he didn't drive me more crazy than you do.
Thanks very much.
Doesn't leave many on the list of candidates. What about you? You working at the moment?
Well, interestingly enough, I've just been fired, so it's probably good timing.
I'll take that as a yes, then.
Oh, Matthew, why would you want to rehire me? I caused you nothing but trouble. Oh, and as it turns out, I make terrible bloody mistakes.
You get it right more often than you get it wrong. Whoever killed Hazel covered their tracks superbly. Truth is, I can't do it without you.
And what about Tyneman?
You find out who killed Hazel, Tyneman will get off your back. If he doesn't, I'll handle him. Hazel's record book. Towards the back, you'll find a list of her daily activities. Might help.
Yes, it might.
So, who do you think killed this doctor then?
I don't know. One thing I know for certain. It's someone at that bloody hospital.
Narrows the field down.
Morning.
Haven't seen Jean, have you?
No, I've been at the hospital all night. Is there any new information?
I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we found puncture marks on Hazel's body.
Are they intravenous?
Intramuscular. She tested positive for morphine.
No, Hazel wasn't a morphine user.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. But sometimes these things go unnoticed.
No, it's a depressant. If she was on anything, which I doubt, it would have been a stimulant. The woman didn't stop.
Do you know, Maddie, I've never questioned an autopsy report.
Dr. Blake.
Linda, how are you?
Okay. Place isn't really the same. What can I do for you?
I don't suppose I could take a look through some of the old prescriptions, could I?
Mr. Nicholson wouldn't really approve.
No, of course. And I respect that. Thank you, Linda. Thank you for your time.
Dr. Blake, is this about Miss Mahoney?
Yes, it is.
You can search by name here, or by the drug type here. Thanks to Miss Mahoney.
Morning, Linda. Can I get a prescription made up?
Linda. Look, Mr. Giovanni Morgani has taken out a fair bit of morphine. Do you know this patient?
No.
Do you mind if I hang on to this? I will bring it back. Thank you. anyone ever tell you, when you try to get away with murder, never leave a paper trail? Prescriptions for morphine under the name of a famous dead Italian pathologist, not a smart move. Your choice of lethal injection, however, exceptional. Potassium chloride, hardly detectable after death. Of course, it explains the puncture marks on Hazel's legs. Indeed, it was Hazel's procedures that uncovered the fact that you're a morphine addict. She even gave you a chance to get clean, didn't she, Gus?
Would have meant the end of my career.
So you dealt with that problem by killing her, didn't you?
Miss Mahoney had morphine in the system.
You tried to make her look like the addict by substituting your blood for hers.
Oh, you're so bloody smart, aren't you?
You know what I wonder about, Gus? I wonder why you didn't simply give her an overdose of morphine, but of course that's part of the problem with addiction, isn't it? It's tough to part with the goods.
A healthy 40-year-old woman with puncture wounds to her upper legs would have started an investigation.
Yes, of course. So you tried to make it look like suicide. It was a nice touch with the little stool, I'll tell you. It's just a shame you faced the steps the wrong way. Oh, come on, Gus. 2 deaths in 1 week involving potassium chloride. It's going to look a little suspicious, isn't it? And you're not nearly strong enough to string me up. Was this all part of your plan, Gus, when you made the decision to study medicine? Is this all part of your calling? I tell you what, I'll make it easy for you, really easy. Here's a vein. Come on, the idea of dying doesn't disturb me.
What?
Knowing what you've done, on the other hand, that's a different matter entirely.
Drop it. Drop the syringe. Drop it. Drop it now! Matty O'Brien told me you were here. I thought you might need a hand. Thank you.
Dear Jane, I have received word that my daughter is alive, and arrangements have been made for me to meet with her in Shanghai. This is the journey I have longed to make for so many years. You, of all people, will understand how much I need to see her, to hold her, to tell her I love her.
Oh, Inspector Lawson.
Hello, G.
Oh, come in.
Blake called me at the station. He's on his way to Shanghai. He wants to take some leave from work. He wanted me to pick this up and give it to you.
Oh.
He'd like you to open it.
Who knows what will happen or how it will end, but please know this. In coming back to Ballarat, to my father's house, I have found a place of light in the darkness. I have found my home. Thank you for caring and for being my friend. For the first time in a very long time, this feels like the beginning and not the end. Yours, with much affection, Lucia.
The greatest forensic minds return to ABC One.
Over here! It's a murder.
New season, new cases, new recruit.
Congratulations. Thank you.
New Silent Witness starts next Friday, 8:30.